Hello, everybody. This is Frank from Frank's Clean Jokes in Athens, Georgia. Hope you're doing good. Got 3 tremendous jokes and then some real interesting information. Okay? So please listen to the follow-up after the jokes if you want to learn something. I promise you, you will learn something. Okay, here are the jokes. All right. As I went out into the yard early one morning, I stumped my toe and was mumbling, and my next door neighbor, Jack, said, did you wake up grumpy this morning? I said, no, I decided to let her sleep in. I got a birthday card from a relative, and as soon as I opened it, I immediately knew who it was from because it had rice in it. It was from Uncle Ben. All right. I went to the doctor with a suspicious looking mole. The doctor examined it and he said, it looks normal to me. You should have left him in the garden. All right. We're going to follow up with the 3 jokes. Now, the first one about did you wake up grumpy, meaning did I wake up in a bad mood? And I turned the tables on him and I said, well, I let her sleep. So my wife was grumpy. So double meaning of the word. All right. The next one, very interesting. Uncle Ben is a brand of rice. All right. And one side comment to make about rice, the word has been that at weddings, they are no longer throwing rice at the departing bride and groom. Why not? Because they say birds eat the kernels of rice, and when they drink water, it expands and the bird explodes. I've heard that from 2 or 3 sources. Guess what? That is an urban myth. That is not true. All right? Birds digest the rice kernels fairly good. So that might be, I'm speculating. You know what they use instead of rice? Bird seed. So it could be that the bird seed companies are perpetuating that myth that when birds eat rice and drink water, they explode. So don't use the rice, use our bird seed. That might be the deal. I'm not saying it's true, but the concept that the birds explode from eating rice is considered an urban myth. Okay. The third joke, all right, about the suspicious looking mole. In other words, it's like, is this cancerous? Is this mole on my arm is not looking good? And then the doctor said, this mole looks normal. You should have left him in the garden. So they're talking about the mammal mole. All right. I looked up the word mole. Here's 3 different interpretations, and there may be more. Okay. One, all right, a mole. I watch a lot of detective stuff on TV and mysteries and so forth. If there is a mole in an organization, that means the enemy company or the enemy country has sent somebody undercover to learn your secrets. So is there a mole in your company? Is there a mole like a Russian spy in America? A mole, somebody undercover? Okay, that's one meaning. How about this? A mole is also a unit, all right? An amount of carbon 12 atoms that weighs exactly 12 grams. How about that? It's the SI unit, which is the metric system, the system of international units, the metric system. All right. So it's an amount of something. You can have a mole of water. You can have a mole of gold. You can have a mole of whatever. So it's just an amount, like we would think of pounds and ounces and so forth. All right. It's an amount of something. the amount of carbon-12 atoms that weighs exactly 12 grams. All right, moving along. The actual animal mole is a mammal. And I remember, back growing up playing in the yard, there were these little mounds. You could see where above ground, it's like something was burrowing, okay? And you've heard the old molehill, people talk about a molehill. And then you've heard people say, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. So you're stretching it. You're making something seem like it's 100 times worse than it is. It's just a little molehill. There's not much to it, but you're making it sound a lot worse than it was. Now, here's what the actual mole is. A small subterranean mammal with small eyes and ears, large forelimbs, and big, powerful paws for digging or burrowing. Okay? So, kind of talked about all three jokes there. Well, I'm going to name this. I've already had two names for it, and I am evolving. And I love to do research, and I love to learn new stuff. So after the jokes, and I will always do the jokes first, as I've mentioned several times, I'm going to call it Professor Frank's Classroom. All right, that's my final answer. Professor Frank's Classroom, and I'm going to put in some serious time and effort and give you some wild, crazy, zany statistics and information. So if you listen, I will first explain the jokes, the double meanings, or probably 90% of the people get the jokes the first time. But if you don't, I will briefly explain each of the three jokes and then give you some side commentary, like what a mole is, or the urban myth about the rice causing birds to explode, and stuff like that. Okay. All right. Thank you for being a loyal viewer or subscriber. And I will put out a couple more videos tomorrow. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.